Engines growled like distant thunder as a line of bikes rolled into Ironwood, Arizona. Heat shimmered above the asphalt, and sunset painted the sky in bruised orange streaks. At the old gas station, a thin little girl in a faded pink t-shirt stood shaking. She stepped forward and cried, "Please, my stepfather is selling me. Can you help me?" If stories like this hit your heart, tap subscribe, ring that bell, and type respect if you believe no child should ever stand alone. Her name was Emily Carter, 9 years old, a quiet honor student who loved drawing horses. At night, she sketched wild Mustangs running free, the opposite of how she felt. Her stepfather, Trevor Cole, 38, carried a record of petty theft and drug deals. That evening, he drove her to the edge of town to meet a man who would erase his debts if Trevor handed the kid over. Emily did not understand the contract, but she understood the danger. She was about to be traded like property. The gas station was the usual refuel stop for the Guardian Wolves Motorcycle Club. 10 bikes, veterans, mechanics, truckers, riders who had turned patched leather into a promise to protect the vulnerable. They had no church building, no office, just a code: protect the small. At the front rode Jack Rook Hanley, 52, retired Marine gunnery sergeant from Texas. Rook shut off his engine as Emily ran toward them, tears streaking through dust. The parking lot fell silent except for the ticking of cooling metal. Rook swung a boot to the ground and knelt. "Slow down, kiddo," he said. "Tell me again, who's selling you?" Emily pointed at Trevor by the dented pickup. His hand twitched toward his pocket, eyes narrowing. The wolves watched, every instinct sharpened. Little did Trevor know that the woman stepping off the second bike, Lily Doc Ramirez, 45, had spent a decade in Child Protective Services. She recognized the way Emily flinched and folded in on herself. She had seen that fear too many times. "Rook," she murmured, "she's telling the truth." Trevor marched over, jaw clenched. "Mind your own business. She's my daughter," he snapped. "Stepdaughter," Emily whispered. Doc stepped between them, steady as stone. "Then you won't mind if we call this in and make sure she's safe." "You don't call anybody," Trevor hissed, grabbing for Emily's arm. Bad move. A big rider stepped forward. Marcus Bear Dalton, 39, former county sheriff's deputy. He caught Trevor's wrist mid-grab, his voice low and firm. "Let her go," Bear said. "Now." Trevor yanked back and shoved Bear. "You think some bikes scare me?" he barked. Rook rose to his full height, shadow stretching across the cracked pavement. "It's not the bikes that should scare you," he replied. "It's what the truth looks like on video." While Rook kept Trevor's eyes on him, Doc was already on the phone with the county sheriff and child services, giving names and location. Strapped to several helmets, small ride cameras recorded every word Trevor spat and every plea Emily made. Minutes crawled until sirens rose. A patrol cruiser slid into the lot, dust swirling. Bear stepped back with his hands open, explaining. The deputies recognized his face and Rook's reputation for helping the town. They watched the footage beside pump number 3 and saw the terror in Emily's eyes and the calculation in Trevor's. The cuffs clicked on. Trevor tried to protest, but a deputy quietly repeated Emily's first words. "My stepfather is selling me. Can you help me?" There was nothing left to say. They guided him into the back of the cruiser and shut the door on his deal forever. As the dust settled, a social worker knelt in front of Emily, promising safety and a chance to just be 9 again. Safe foster families were already being called, people ready to give her a room, not a price. Emily listened, then looked past the badge to the row of bikes waiting like a steel wall. "Will I ever see them again?" she whispered. Rook managed a tired, gentle smile. "We'll be around, kiddo," he said. "Wolves don't wander far when there are lambs to protect." Doc pressed a small Guardian Wolves patch into Emily's hand. "This isn't for your jacket," she told her softly. "It's for your heart. So you remember that when you asked for help, strangers listened." Engines roared back to life, not as a threat, but as a promise. As the wolves rolled out of the station, townsfolk watched from windows and doorways, all thinking the same word: respect. Type RESPECT in the comments if you believe courage is contagious. And don't forget to subscribe, because as long as there are roads to ride, there will be more stories of everyday heroes on 2 wheels.